Today we are visiting one of the more unique things I think we've ever seen in Germany.
We are at the Kuchlbauer Bierwelt, which is a brewery here in Germany, along with this amazing, interesting, a little bit strange looking tower. There's also an art museum, and we'll tell you more about the artist and all of that as we get going. But first, we're gonna get our tickets so we can take a tour. We paid about $56 for our family, which included entry to the Kunsthaus. That's the art exhibit in the first building here that also includes a lot of interesting information about the life of Hundertwasser, the man that originally designed all of this. There's even a gold-plated tree inside, but they don't allow cameras in there.
Art being one of the main themes here, it comes as no surprise that the brewery tour is quite a bit more interesting than most. It starts off pretty similar to any brewery tour with the basics on water, grain, yeast, and hops. And if you aren't familiar with the area, the hops here have a special significance because the Hallertau region in which Kuchlbauer is located is the largest hops producing region in the world. There are hops fields everywhere here, and in some areas it's just vines and vines as far as the eye can see. There's even a hops museum 34 kilometers or 21 miles away that tells all about the history of hops cultivation. Anyway, back to the brewery tour.
Like a lot of breweries in Germany, this one's history goes back centuries. The family running it now has owned it since 1904, and now they brand themselves as the wheat beer specialists, which also happens to be one of our favorite kinds. The giant artsy tower that has become a landmark here was completed in 2010, the Kunsthaus in 2014, and now everywhere you visit on the brewery tour has artistic touches incorporated into it, including some funny animatronic displays.
The guided brewery tour concludes in the basement of the big tower, complete with a gigantic wheat beer glass, followed by many, many more from other breweries. Then you get to climb the stairs all the way to the top of the tower. The tour is really neat. The tower is really neat. It's super artistic, and if I'm being completely honest, it's also a little bit weird.
But I think that adds to the uniqueness of it and makes it really interesting. And as they said in the tour, This was a great decision for them to build this tower and put it here because it's a real draw to people, including us. It was just really fun to learn about how they make the beer here and the history of it and why the tower even came to be here. And it was just really fun coming up here and seeing all the intricacies of it. And the view from up here can't be beat either. And one thing we saw from up here was the Biergarten, which as part of our tour, we get to go down and have a drink, have a pretzel, but we're not just gonna have one drink because as you saw on the tour, there were at least 5 Hefeweizens that we need to sample.
We might have to take some home.
The Biergarten is exactly what you might expect in a place like this. It has great atmosphere and a view of the tower. They even have a full food menu, several different delicious wheat beers to sample or take home, and plenty of toys for the kids to play with. You can also visit the Biergarten without going on either of the tours if it's not your thing.
It's still a great place to hang out, which is exactly what we did with the rest of our afternoon in the town of Abensberg. See you all next time.